Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Elders Book review. We've been reviewing the Elders Book over the past probably about 6 months. We have a playlist with all the various chapters in it. And so far we're on chapter 21. Today we're going to be talking about kingdom halls and kingdom hall maintenance and stuff like that. This is from the brand new Elders book, their latest. Let me see. Yeah, it's the latest Elders book. So, thought I had a commercial for Elders book, but I guess I don't. I don't have a commercial. So, anyways, we're going to look at what they're doing now for Kingdom Halls. Now, I'm just going to pull up the Kingdom Hall part. This is what we're on, chapter 20. Meetings, they calling it meetings. No, chapter 19, chapter 21. That's what we're on. We did meetings. Here we are. Chapter 21. Kingdom Halls. That's what we're on tonight, Kingdom Halls. So I want to say hello to everyone. Life After Religion, Dan and Angela, hello. Really enjoyed your talk there, Dan, on politics. That was very, very heartwarming. Very nice to see. And I think if that energy can get out, we share it, everyone. If you haven't seen that video, it's one to see for sure. I shared it. Thanks for doing that for us, Stan. San Diego Pimo, thank you for being on with us tonight. And Jay, thanks very much, Jay. You're a great supporter of the community. Jay is one of our moderators. So if you get out of line, Jay has the ranch. Tad, hello, Tad. Tad is from Japan. And his father was in, there was an article in the, I think the Awake magazine or the Watchtower in Japan made about his family and their music. And Tad has quite the story to tell. And soon he plans on getting that out. We have Thrifty Treasures. Hello, thanks for being with us. Danny Bell. And we have Now Questioning. Big hi to everyone. So yeah, we have to question everything. So we're going to talk about Kingdom Halls. Before we get into Kingdom Halls, do you guys know how big the Kingdom Halls are going to be? Well, when I was in it, and this is back in, 2012, I left. And up until then, they were building Kingdom Halls for 150 people. I think there was still a bit of growth. And they're building these Kingdom Halls for 150 people, but no more in Canada. We went to the Bethel. I'm going to share this with you guys here. It's a video from, this is Jonathan, ex-witness awake. He's done this. We'll look at his channel, but he did a nice summary of it. Here it is.
Model Kingdom Hall, and I'm going to picture it right here. I actually left it at home for this, but I asked my lovely partner, my wife, if she would take a picture of it and send it to me so that I could show you folks. So here you go. So this is 65 seats for a Kingdom Hall. Now, in my time as a Jehovah's Witness, congregations generally were about as low as, say, 80 publishers to maybe 120 publishers. That seemed to be the going average. Of course, there could be more, there could be less. Generally, about 100 or so. That's the case in most of the congregations that I grew up in, different ones. And I have been to several different congregations. And, well, in recent years, the attendance has gotten so bad that they look really empty. When you see pictures of congregations or meetings, they look like, tumbleweeds you'd go through. There's a few people here and there. It's pretty empty. So it's clear that they don't have as many people as they used to, which makes me think about the announcement that Stephen Lett made in a JW Broadcasting episode years ago. I believe it was 2015, could have been 2016, in which he said that we would need more Kingdom Halls.
A recent analysis of the need for Kingdom Halls here in the United States showed that some 1,600 new Kingdom Halls or major renovations are needed, not sometime in the future, but right now. And worldwide, we are in need of more than 14,000 places of worship.
And then they sort of changed their plan. They decided to instead consolidate congregations and move people around. You had the effect of people having to drive twice as far for meetings. You had people that had a circle of friends, and suddenly they had to, meet all new people, and they didn't have that regular association with people they knew. Different things would happen. And of course, when they said that they needed to build more halls, they were asking for money because they were putting out more money than is coming in. That was the result because of all these programs that they have going.
We have looked forward to this next fiscal year and projected the expenditures for all of the theocratic initiatives we are scheduling. In doing the math, we found that the amount of money flowing out will be much greater than the amount of money that we have coming in at this time.
That are going to need our support. And then they changed things and they started selling off properties. And we've seen that in recent years, just hundreds and hundreds of properties worldwide of Kingdom Halls, even some branch facilities where they have consolidated things, and they're making money off of those. So that money those properties were things that were built by the people that were using them. They owned them, and then they didn't.
I'm going to speed this up a bit. Right here.
At these building plans, and I'll show it here again. The way it appears, you could easily convert this into a small restaurant or a store, an office, what have you. So they tend to make these in a way that would be resellable. So you take a building that was created with free labor, possibly free materials if you had someone, say, was in construction or something that in the area that would be contributing to the Kingdom Hall. And it's all done with money that's been contributed by other people. You create this building, and then in several years, maybe 10 years or something, you need to switch things around. And now you have this property that's available that you can sell for hundreds of thousands, $1 million, depending. That's a pretty good money-making scheme. And all at the expense of people for their time, energy, and money. Okay, now, looking again at this illustration that I'm going to look at it again here. It says there's 65 seats. And, it's got Caleb and Sophia and the whole gang there. They're a nice service car. But if you look, I counted up all the seats, and there is 62 seats, including the B school. 63 if you count the person that's in the wheelchair. And you got your choice of either the two seats on the stage, being the 64 and 65, or the toilets. So you take your pick as to what those extra two seats are. It's pretty shameful the way that they take advantage of people, of their resources, their time and energy, and their whole life when they devote something.
Okay, so that was the point that I wanted to show you guys, the 65-seater. That is the new prototypical Kingdom Hall in Canada here. And I think this is probably going to be all over the world. Like, why would it just be Canada? JW.org, they like to be in unity all over the world. So I think this is probably their new it's a little Kingdom Hall. And that's what's replacing the bigger Kingdom Halls. And it makes sense. You could turn that into a KFC in 10 years. You know, they buy these things on the outskirts of town for cheap, that they get the rank and file to do all the work. Now, I wanted to talk to you guys. We're going to look at the Elders book next, and the Elders book, chapter 21. We're going to talk about Kingdom Halls. We're going to talk about cleaning and looking after the facilities. And I wanted to show you what is happening. Now, we know in Jehovah's Witness religion, everyone does that for free. Now, the rest of the world, it's not done for free. Let me see if I can get that up here. In the rest of the world, they have what they call church custodians, and it's all done properly. It's a proper job description. These guys are trained. They're trained in what they call WIMIS. WIMIS, it's an acronym for knowing how to deal with dangerous chemicals when you're dealing with cleaning supplies, janitorial supplies. There is a certain amount of training that goes with that, and the church custodian would have the proper training, as well as, you know, he would take care of all the other things in the church. So you as the member, you would just come to church. That's all you'd do. You'd come to church, you'd enjoy it, and, you know, you wouldn't be messy or anything. You'd pick up after yourself or whatever. But you knew there was a church custodian. You didn't have to stay late to clean the Kingdom Hall. It wasn't your turn. That's done by the church custodian. It's paid by contributions. It's paid by the church. That's how it's done all over the world, folks. Cleaning and sanitizing restrooms, you know, working with toilets. JW.org has little kids cleaning toilets. Is that right? Forced child labor? Vacuuming, mopping floors, dusting, wiping surfaces, ensuring that all areas are presentable and ready for use. The church custodian does all those things. What does a church custodian make? Well, here in Canada, the church custodian makes on average $13 an hour. Now, the rank and file, they don't get paid. The Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't get paid anything. We're going to look at that. And a church custodian will make up to $21 an hour. Some of these guys know a little bit about electrical and plumbing and things like that, so they get a little higher wage. Okay, so we're going to get into the Elders book, and we're going to see how they handle church custodians and how this is all dealt with. It's all here in the Elders book, folks. It's interesting. So we thank everyone for joining us. We're going to say hi to Keith. You're with us today. Thrifty Treasure, we said hi already. And Danny Bell. So we're going to get into it. Kingdom Halls, they start with contacting. Sorry, I jumped ahead there. But gets right into it, contacting the Kingdom Hall. Contact congregations. So the first point is the branch office is responsible for approving and overseeing the construction of new Kingdom Halls and for ensuring that existing Kingdom Halls are being maintained properly and fully utilized. Direction regarding these matters is provided to the congregation through the local, they call it the LDC, the Local Design Construction Department. And they inspect and gather information. Okay, so there's a lot of points here, folks. There's 40 points under Kingdom Hall, believe it or not. So it'll take us a full hour to cover this all. So contact congregation, we're going to move through this rather rapidly. A Kingdom Hall is dedicated to the worship of Jehovah. As many as 3 or 4 congregations may be assigned by the branch office to use the same Kingdom Hall auditorium in order to make full use of the facility and keep expenses to a minimum. So in my day, they would do two congregations per Kingdom Hall. And then when I was leaving, they increased that to 3 Kingdom Hall, 3 congregations would share Kingdom Hall. So now I see that they're 3 or 4. They're even squeezing 4 congregations into a Kingdom Hall. That means people have to drive farther further to get to the Kingdom Hall, more driving. Now, the branch will generally correspond with only one of the congregations using the facility regarding legal property and related matters. So one of the congregations will be assigned the legal aspect of it, I guess. That's what they're saying. Regardless of who holds title, no congregation should conclude it owns the Kingdom Hall. It's the responsibility of all the congregations using the property. Now, usually this contact congregation holds the documents related to the Kingdom Hall and the property on which it's located. Now, from what I believe is the governing body or New York owns all these Kingdom Halls. There's no local ownership, but someone holds the title. One of these congregations hold the title. Okay, so rented facilities. If a congregation needs to rent a facility for long-term use as a Kingdom Hall, the elders should contact the local design construction department. And if a congregation needs to rent a facility for one-time use, like for the memorial, where they have too many, let's say you have a 65-seater and you figure you'll have 150 people at the memorial, you're going to have to rent a place. You fill out a form, a TO-19 form, I guess. You see, the local, what this tells us all, folks, is that the local congregation has no authority whatsoever, not even for arranging for memorial stuff. They have to fill out forms. It has to go to the branch. This is all dictated by the branch, and each branch in each country is dictated by New York, by the governing body. Now, cleaning, the Kingdom Hall should be cleaned according to regular schedules. So you see, they don't hire custodians. There's a schedule set up, and you have kids doing this and working with dangerous chemicals. Let's see. This is the first time for me going through this. Let's see if they talk about working with dangerous chemicals and things like that. Let's see what it says. It says, the Kingdom Hall should be cleaned. This usually involves a light cleaning after each meeting. More thorough cleaning each week, a major cleaning at least once a year. This should be carried out by volunteers. So no one's getting paid. Like all over the world, every other church has a custodian. But this is volunteers from within the congregation meeting in the Kingdom Hall. All may have a share, including children. You see, they don't mind child labor. They use it. They'll take what they can get. You see, they wouldn't qualify for, how McDonald's and Tim Hortons. Well, there's Tim Hortons here in Canada. You might have more McDonald's down there, but their coffee is not harvested by child labor. Companies are saying our shirts are not made by child labor. Well, the Kingdom Hall can't say this. You see, the Kingdom Halls are made by child labor. The Kingdom Halls are cleaned by child labor, and the Kingdom Halls are promoted, in the ministry by child labor. But of course, they have to be properly supervised. But child labor, they promote it. Now, number 6, a schedule for the Kingdom Hall cleaning should be posted, and they rotate it, as well as any storage, parking, and landscape areas. If snow removal or other maintenance is required, this should be well coordinated. Care should be taken to ensure the safety of all involved. They'll take what they can get for free. If they have to remove snow and hire someone, they'll pay for it if they have to, but if they can get it for free from one of the members, maybe one of the members is in the business, so he might give the Kingdom Hall a break or give it to him for free. Now, cleaning, number 7, the cleaning coordinator. There is a cleaning coordinator. It says each body of elders should assign an elder or a ministerial servant to serve as a cleaning coordinator for the congregation. And he is not responsible for performing all of the cleaning work himself, nor does he have the authority to make decisions that should be made by the body of elders. He should prepare cleaning schedules. So he's just another slave. He does schedules, this cleaning guy, the coordinator. He's got to be a schedule guy. And he'll consult with the Kingdom Hall Operating Committee to ensure that adequate cleaning supplies and simple written instructions are kept on hand. So here's how they deal with WHMIS. If you know anything about WHMIS, dealing with dangerous chemicals, and that falls under janitorial work and dealing with cleaning materials. Well, here's what they do. They have adequate cleaning supplies and simple written instructions. So there's no training, there's no WHMIS course. All janitors have to be certified under WHMIS to even be a janitor nowadays here in Canada. But not for the Watchtower. You can have children and just simple written instructions. Just that's all they need. Did you know if you mix the wrong two chemicals in a toilet, you have sulfuric acid, you can die. It's lethal. And that can easily be done, and I'm not going to tell you how to do it. Now, it goes on to say that he should ensure, this is the coordinator, this cleaning coordinator guy, he should ensure that the appropriate safety equipment is on hand and is being used, and that the publishers have been trained to clean safely. So here's your WHMIS training course, guys. It's that coordinator guy. He's a trainer. It says he should. Boy, he's being should on. You hate to be should on. But the Elders book is all about shitting on you. It shoulds all over everyone. The Elders book. You should do this. You should do that. He should do this. Well, here it is. He should. The elder goes up to the cleaning coordinator. He's not an elder. He's a ministerial servant. Doesn't have access to the Elders book. Opens this up and says, you should prepare cleaning schedules and consult with the Kingdom Hall Operating Committee to ensure that adequate cleaning supplies and simple written instructions are kept on hand. Now, he should also ensure that the appropriate safety equipment is on hand and is being used, that the publishers have been trained to clean safely. So I wonder if he's going to send them to some outside training courses. I doubt it. Now, but he's taken responsibility for all these people cleaning the Kingdom Hall. And it goes on to say he should. They sure do a lot of shoulding on their people. But he should monitor the cleanliness of the Kingdom Hall and provide kind reminders as needed. So I guess it's up to him to enforce it. He's the kind of the cleaning enforcement trainer, this coordinator guy. So he's got a big title. I hope he's qualified. Some young ministerial servant gets assigned this. They're 17 years old, still in high school, maybe even. There's just a elder's son, so they qualify. And they're the cleaning coordinator. No training, no nothing, but they know how to make schedules. You learn that really quick. Okay, let's move on. Maintenance and repair. There's no custodian here, folks. Here's how you handle it. Preventative maintenance program can lengthen the life of the Kingdom Hall, and regular maintenance also shows respect for sanctity of life. And since a lack of maintenance can result in unsafe conditions that put those who use the Kingdom Hall at risk. So a meeting place that is well maintained reflects favorably on Jehovah God. Therefore, each congregation should take seriously the responsibility to care for the maintenance. So again, it's put on the congregation to repair and maintain the Kingdom Hall. I thought they owned it, and I thought, they just hire outside maintenance contractors. That's not how Watchtower works. You see, the Mormons do that. All the other churches, any church that I know of, hires contractors, and that's how maintenance is taken care of. But not here. It's looked after by the local congregations. It says the LDC, he works along with the LDC field representative to help establish, monitor, and support maintenance programs. So you have a field representative, the local design construction department. They send out a guy. Check out your Kingdom Hall. See, at this point, the governing body owns them all. New York owns all these Kingdom Halls. Now, number 9, the congregations that are assigned to the Kingdom Halls are responsible to care for the expenses See, I was wondering if a governing body was going to care for expenses, but no, they're hitching the kingdom halls with this. So how do you pay for the expenses? Well, you have to go to the congregation for more contributions, and that's how you have to cover this stuff. It says here that repairs up to the congregation or kingdom hall operating committee's target balance and the purchase, repair, or replacement of tools and portable equipment. Neither congregations nor operating committees should save funds in excess of their target balance for kingdom hall repairs. So they kind of do an estimate and they say, hey, we got to raise $10,000 to replace all the carpets and reupholster all the seats or something like that. And then if you get more money, let's say you got $12,000 in donations, it says here, you shouldn't save these funds in excess. So if you have excess money, guess what? It has to get sent into New York. If the cost of a Kingdom Hall project will exceed the congregation's operating committee's target balance, approval by the LDC is required. So if you go over budget, you got to get approval. And if the repair is approved, the LDC will provide direction on the implementation of the work, and the funds will typically be provided by the branch office. And there's a whole bunch of forms you got to fill out, S27 forms, S42 forms. We showed you guys last week how to get these forms. You can get these forms on Avoid JW, and they have all these forms. JW.org is like a legal book, and there's forms for everything. It's just very litigious, in my opinion. Now, it says here that maintenance or repair work should be done by volunteers from the congregation. So there's no custodian, no contractors. Volunteers using the Kingdom Hall. This provides an opportunity to train others. So they say, okay, well, you guys all do this and then train the kids. When a publisher lends his equipment to the congregation to assist with a project, the agreement for loan of equipment, A224, should be used. Now, that's brand new. So now if, let's say, you lent your lawnmower to the Kingdom Hall doesn't have a lawnmower, you got to lend them your lawnmower. You fill out an A224 form. And I guess it's a good idea, I guess, something happens to you, you die. There's some kind of a document that says that's your lawnmower, it goes to your estate. Now, if local volunteers are not available to coordinate or safely carry out the work, or if the work involves higher risk activity, the elders should seek the direction of the LDC maintenance trainer before any work is started. You see, they're going to try to train people in-house. And that's what JW.org does. They will not contract this stuff out. So then they put you through Working Together Safely Standards for Theocratic Construction and Maintenance. They have a DC 82 form, an Appendix A. So there's another list of stuff you have to do there if you're going to get into working on these building projects. Okay, number 10, using contractors can be costly. So you see, Watchtower is very cheap. They're very money hungry. It's not that it's costly. It's safer to use a contractor, more guaranteed. But here they're saying it can be costly. Of course, it's going to be a lot more costly than free labor, which they get from their congregations. But when it's necessary to hire a contractor, and here's the other thing, JW.org does not promote higher education, white-collar jobs, sitting behind the desk, an accountant, a lawyer, a doctor, these higher university-type jobs. They don't, in fact, if you're an elder, you will be deleted if your son is sent to university. JW.org promotes blue-collar jobs, which means most of your people in the congregation are going to be plumbers, electricians, carpenters, blue-collar jobs, because they believe in the new system, they won't need doctors. They won't need lawyers because things will be perfect, but they will need buildings. So you see, they believe that they should get all their people into blue-collar jobs. and that's what this is all about. Using contractors is costly. They're going to train you. Even you can get training in-house. I used to train different publishers. I trained them in security. I remember at the assembly hall, I trained the assembly hall overseer's son. He was really good at security. I got him into the computer stuff and showed him everything. And lo and behold, he got out of high school and he got a job with ADT. ADT, it's a big security company all over North America. And he did very well. So anyways, people get, like a lot of the publishers, get training through these building projects, but it's all blue collar work. You're going to find there's no white collar work. Now the detail. Now if you have to go out and get a bid, because let's say you have no one in the congregation or surrounding area that's qualified to do some certain thing. Let's say it's hooking up the electrical to the main city. Maybe you need a master electrician. You don't have one. Usually they have master electricians. It's probably a poor example, but let's say you need one. You should obtain written estimates and signed written agreements, and the details of the estimates or bids should not be shared with others wishing to perform the work. And the elders should verify that the contractor has the skill necessary to complete the work, a reputation for working safely, and the insurance and other legal protection needed, which is standard with any kind of a building project. And this should be done whether or not the contractor is a witness. The congregation should consider requesting a copy of the contractor's certificate of insurance. And that's standard, folks. When you're taking on contracts, you have to provide, in Canada here, you have to provide what they call Workman's Compensation Board certificate, so that you're paid up, because we pay in Canada a certain amount into insuring our workers. So you have to be paid up there, and you have to provide a certificate. Then there's a certificate of insurance, and then might be a certificate of your qualifications. So that's standard. They're just saying that's what they want to do. So nothing new here. Number 11, the body of elders should be enthusiastic about supporting the maintenance training. Maybe they're not enthusiastic no more. Maybe people are scratching their heads and wondering what's going on here. We're selling kingdom halls, building smaller ones, selling them. What's going on here, Watchtower Meal? Maybe the body of elders aren't enthusiastic enough, so they had to stick this in here, verse number 11. I called it verse 11 like it's a Bible, but it's number 11 under this section. They're telling them to be enthusiastic. Maybe you can't be enthusiastic. Well, anyways, they want them to be supportive of the maintenance training and preventative maintenance programs by the LDC, so that all in the congregation are encouraged to take an interest in caring for the Kingdom Hall. So they're passing this off to the members. So not only do you have to pay $10 a month to be a Jehovah's Witness, you now have to maintain that Kingdom Hall. And the title of the Kingdom Hall is Watchtower. They own it. But they don't have to maintain it. They just get to own it, and they get to sell it when they want to sell it. So, yeah, that's how it works. So number 12, immediate action should be taken if moisture-related problems are found. So it talks about moisture, mold and mildew. They want you running your HVAC system, get the place airing out. If you had a big rainstorm and it rained and rain came in and got things wet. So there's instructions for that right in the Elders book. Number 13, if a congregation needs to rent a facility or a parking lot for one-time use, the elders should determine the level of repairs necessary to have a safe and suitable place to meet. Do you know why they have to do this now? They had a lawsuit in New York at an assembly where a sister was walking on an uneven sidewalk leading up to the Watchtower Assembly Hall. And she had to be hauled away in an ambulance after her foot caught that, and she took a nosedive on the concrete. She couldn't get up. She had to be hauled away in an ambulance. They sued the Watchtower for damages. And don't know what's wrong with my backdrop. But they sued the Watchtower for damages, and the Watchtower appealed it and wouldn't pay them, and it was a big fight in court. But it just goes to show you that the Watchtower will not they will not pay very quick. That lawsuit showed me, as in every other item, even its own members. But I guess the lawsuit probably was a big one because they had to sell that assembly hall in New York. And I forget the name of it. But now it's in their elders book. So good on them. They go out and check the level and repairs necessary when you rent a facility, because you're responsible for people walking up on all the sidewalks. If there's any trip hazards, that's really what they should be looking for, trip hazards. They have to be safely marked and blocked off so people can't walk through those trip hazards. Although it doesn't say all that stuff in this elders book. But it's telling them that there's risk management. The branch risk management desk should be contacted for assistance if there are concerns with the wording in these agreements, or if assistance is needed with developing and reviewing a contract for temporary or permanent arrangements. So sometimes when they're renting facilities, the facility says to you, the renter, you're responsible for any liabilities while you're renting our facility. So all they're doing is reading the fine print, and they're instructing the elders how to deal with that. Number 14, maintenance coordinator. If the Kingdom Hall is used only by one congregation, the body of elders should assign an elder or ministerial servant to be the maintenance coordinator. So you have a lot of coordinators going on. You have cleaning coordinators, maintenance coordinators. This may be the same brother who serves as a cleaning coordinator, they're saying. And he should ensure that the preventative maintenance program provided by the LDC is being followed. So this involves verifying that the maintenance tasks are being completed on schedule. Basically, he's going to be cracking the whip in the congregation, motivating all the publishers, giving announcements. They'll make that part of announcements. Hey, we need some cleaning. We need some maintenance done. He's going to be looking for people. Maybe a painting to do. Maybe there's lawn care to do in the spring. There always is. And they're always looking for people. So he's not supposed to be responsible for doing the work, but he is supposed to get the work done. So it's imperative that the brother selected be well organized and diligent, yet submissive to the body of elders. Wow, they have to put that in there. Could you imagine going to get a job somewhere, and this is what it's in there? It's imperative that you are well organized and diligent, and you're submissive to the boss. Could you imagine a woman being told that you have to be submissive to the boss? That could be taken in a lot of different ways. I don't know. Lawsuit material is what that looks like to me. So anyways, being submissive, this could be, what if an elder pulls you in the back and you're doing cleaning and you're a young girl, and, or a young brother, and you're pulled into the back janitorial room, and and the elder pulls out his book and says, it says right here from the faithful slave that you're to be submissive. And then the next thing you know, there's a CSA involvement, CSA case. This is how this stuff looks like to me, folks. Very sketchy that they put even stuff like that in an instruction manual to elders. I find it very sketchy. So it says the body of elders should allow the brother to show the initiative in caring for maintenance, should keep a record. Wow, a lot of stuff here. Bunch of more forms. DC 82 form. Working together safely standards for theocratic construction and maintenance. Okay, we're going to move on. Kingdom Hall Operating Committee. If the Kingdom Hall auditorium is used by more than one congregation, or if there are multiple auditoriums on the same property, a Kingdom Hall Operating Committee should be appointed for organizing, cleaning, and maintenance of all facilities in the property and the auditorium, storage buildings, and residences. So if there's groundskeepers, like they have residences for, like assembly halls do anyways, where there's an assembly hall, a couple, usually they call them, they're from Bethel, and they maintain the assembly halls. So there's a residence. So it looks like that they want care for the residents, for the full-time servant located in the same neighborhood. Huh. So there might be a residence of a special full-time servant located in the same neighborhood. Interesting. So you got to clean that too. That's what it looks like. Each body of elders should select one or two elders or ministerial servants to serve on the operating committee. It should consist of no more than 5 brothers. So if you have multiple congregations, you're going to build an operating committee. It's just one more meeting that brothers have to attend. Number 16, the combined body of elders should select the operating committee member who will serve as the operating committee coordinator. So now they have to choose their boss, kind of elect him in, I guess. What are they going to do? He should be an experienced elder. It's likely that he'll often be able to communicate with other members. He should set up periodic meetings, make sure there's appropriate follow-up decisions, maintain good communication. And if the body of elders agree that a joint meeting of all bodies of elders is needed to resolve a matter, one coordinator of bodies of elders would normally serve as a chairman. Okay, so it's kind of standard meeting stuff. 17, the operating committee should ensure that the appropriate safety equipment is on hand. Publishers have been trained to perform tasks safely, that publishers follow direction found in working together safely. Standards, again, that whole DC 82 book. Standards for theocratic construction and maintenance. So it looks like I haven't looked that up. I'm not going to, but Watchtower has another little booklet that they call their standards for theocratic construction and maintenance. During the cleaning and maintenance project shared by more than one congregation, they should, a lot of shoulds going on, they should sign one of their numbers to serve as the safety coordinator on the project, or members. The operating committee should assign one of their number to serve as a safety coordinator for the project. Doesn't make sense. I think that's an error in the book. Okay, we're going to move on. 18, the operating committee should care for regular maintenance and repairs, and they should be willing to show appropriate initiative, but not run ahead of the direction provided by the body of elders or the branch office. So they want the local congregations to repair and look after all these congregations, but they don't want them to run ahead. Let's say they wanted to put new paint on the wall or reupholster the seats. Like in the old days, they could do that. They had their own maintenance fund. No more. It's all micromanaged by Watchtower. And it's the responsibility of the operating committee to make this all happen. Now, number 20, the bodies of elders of the congregation sharing the Kingdom Hall should record the decisions that have been made regarding the Kingdom Hall matters. So they're going to have a book on this, and they're going to be taking notes, among other things, the agreements and descriptions of how the building will be cared for and used, and when meetings will be held, and schedules for rotating meetings and times, and the financial responsibilities of each congregation. That's how mundane these meetings are. And they'll be talking about all that stuff. Could you imagine being an elder and having to go to all these meetings? Or it's a privilege. You're an elder, and I'm on this committee. Oh, what a privilege! I'm on this committee, and you have all these meetings and just more meetings, mundane meetings. You don't spend any time with your kids, your family, because you're at all these darn meetings, and not to say all the local congregation meetings along. This is extra stuff just regarding the Kingdom Hall. Extra meetings. That's all I see happening here. Okay, so they have all kinds of agreements. Kingdom Hall security plans involved here. They're agreeing between bodies of elders, between congregations. There's agreement plans, S288 forms. The Kingdom Hall agreement plan, S46 form. I guess they have to make an agreement who gets to have the nighttime meeting and who gets the morning time meeting. And next year we'll put you on a rotation schedule. You see, it's stuff like that they got to figure out at those meetings. Okay, process for paying expenses. There's an S27 form and an S42 form. And then there's some tutorial videos for congregation accounting. And I haven't looked at any of those, but that's what it says here in the Elders book. Renovations, upgrades, new installation, new construction, local design construction department, the LDC. Approvals required. Anything. So that's all done now by Watchtower. Just goes on to talk about how they're going to micromanage you. They'll schedule everything, and they take care of it all now. Neither congregations nor operating committees should save funds in excess of their target balance for renovations. So if you have excess funds, they want them again. They're saying this twice. They want them sent in. They don't want anything saved on site. Number 23, the branch office prepares and maintains a master plan that dictates, it doesn't say that, it says indicates where kingdom halls are needed. It's kind of like dictate. This includes new kingdom halls needed based on congregation density and growth. You notice they're not saying what's really happening? The congregation's depletions. You see, the congregations are losing. There's no growth. They're saying it's based on growth. There's no growth in Canada and the US. In all these major countries, there's no growth. They might have some growth in these African countries, but not in Canada, the US. So, but that's what they're saying. They'll base it on growth or no growth. Existing kingdom halls needing renovations, kingdom halls needing to be replaced. Master plan may show that the existing kingdom halls can be better utilized. So at the outset, Jonathan showed in his video that Stephen Lett was talking about all these kingdom halls that they had to build at one time, and then all of a sudden they did a backflip on that and started selling them all off. But I think that's still they need to build them all because they're selling them all off. They're going to build them cheaper and they're going to make money on what they're selling off. Now, number 24, inquiries regarding when a kingdom hall is scheduled for a renovation should be referred to by the LDC trainer. Design standards, specifications. So we showed some of the design standards for Canada, the 65-seater, the prototypical type. They were really excited about that at Bethel. And they were handing these little papers out that you can make into the kids can cut them out and actually make them into a little kingdom hall. Papercraft, they call it. Okay, inspections. The LDC will arrange for an inspection and evaluation every 2 or 3 years. While it's not necessary for each elder to be present, it is important that the operating committee or maintenance coordinator be present. So they come to inspect it to see if it's time to sell it or if they should do any renovations, if it's worth doing renovations to. These are all done now by the LDC. Now, security, the security of the Kingdom Hall should be handled in harmony with directions in the Kingdom Hall security plan, the S288 form. I think we read that a couple of videos back, the security plan we did. And it talks about each body of elders modifies selected sections of the Kingdom Hall security plan as needed. If the Kingdom Hall is used by more than one congregation, the Kingdom Hall Operating Committee modifies the Kingdom Hall security plan. So some Kingdom Halls in a higher risk area may install electronic security systems. Now, I think they've been doing that for a long time. They've been putting in security systems, camera systems. Every Kingdom Hall I've been in lately, they've had security systems and camera systems. And they even had the attendant watching a monitor at the sound desk, and he could watch a monitor of what's going on in the parking lot without going out there. Now, prior to installing a security system, they have to contact the LDC. So they just cannot call up ADT. They have to contact the LDC. The LDC, they'll design your security system. Maybe they got a deal on it. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing today, but you got to contact them. So safety, number 27, each elder should be alert to any hazardous conditions that may exist. So this should be standard anyways with any building. There's fire hazards, electrical outlets, overloads, accumulation of combustible materials that are sometimes put into storage rooms that are not allowed. Hazardous materials, flammable liquids on the property should be avoided when possible. So these are all basic WHMIS type. We call that WHMIS, how to handle hazardous materials. There's actually training for that kind of stuff, but I have seen no training here, no safety training. This is just all words from the Watchtower, as if they're an authority on a fire, let's say a fire system, fire alarm system. Like every Kingdom Hall should have a fire alarm system. They should have an evacuation system. I haven't seen that really here, but all the ones I've been into up here in Canada, they do have that. They have fire extinguishers, they have exit signs, they have smoke detectors, motion sensors for security, and cameras. Now, an elder should be thoroughly familiar with working together. The DC-80, another form that they have to work on, print up. Number 29, a key aspect of working safely is identifying potential dangers. Of course it is. Safety measures can be implemented. Yes, they can. So it sounds like Watchtower is, now they got a congregation job hazard analysis, a DC-85 form, and a congregation job hazard analysis instruction, a DC-85I form. This is like a standard construction site, folks, and no one's getting paid. You know, the average person, the minimum wage here for this kind of stuff is $13.80 an hour. Minimum wage, maximum up here in Canada, about $21 an hour. Contractors will make about $35 an hour. And they do all that. They do all the job hazardous stuff. But here they want the rank and file doing it all. They have all these little forms, just like a big company. Number 30 is incidents, incident report forms, risk, and that's just like a big company, risk incident report. They have to have it. It's a TO5 form, should be completed for any incident or a near miss that occurred at a Kingdom Hall or at a facility rented or a theocratic event, following the direction and risk incident report instructions. So that's important. Near misses, if they do that, it's all here now. Incidents of fraud, incidents of theft of funds or similar financial losses involving donated funds should be reported using the risk incident report. And the completed report should be submitted to the branch risk management desk in the accountant department within 72 hours of the incident. And whenever possible, risk incident reports should be submitted using the online entry version of the form on the JW Hub. And the elders should review any actions needed to prevent a reoccurrence of the incident and follow through on completing them. If the incident is catastrophic or there is a threat of legal action, immediately call the legal department for assistance and do not complete a risk incident report. So you know why that is, folks? This seems weird. Do not complete a risk incident. Well, any business that you're in, you would. But you see, if there's a legal problem, they might want to fudge it. I'm serious. Watchtower is fudging stuff. And they're fudging stuff by eliminating records, handwritten notes, anything that involves legal action. So it says if there's a threat of legal action, immediately call the department and do not write anything down. Okay, there you go. Because anything written down can get Watchtower in trouble. That's why we've seen that on other videos of theirs. Handwritten memos. So now number 31, when property damage occurs, quick action can go far in preventing further damage. Break-ins, thefts, arson, or other incidents of vandalism should be promptly reported to the local authorities, so that the police department. But you notice if CSA happens, that's a crime. It doesn't get reported to the police. It doesn't, not unless it's mandatory in that country. Watchtower's not unanimous on all their stuff. They do different things in different parts of the country, or even different states of the US. They will have different decisions. So if it's when it comes to child sex abuse, they cover it up. Even though it's a crime, in some states it's you don't have to report. It's not mandatory. So they don't report. It's better to keep it quiet, especially if it involves an elder or something like that. They want to keep their publicity on a down low. But when it comes to property damage, they want you to have, what does it say? Quick action. They want you reporting this to the police quickly. So this is the difference. This is the double standard that Watchtower has. It's right in their elders book. You can see it because we already covered how they handle CSA. It was in a way back in the book. You can go onto my playlist and you can look at that. But right in there on CSA, it's not handled the same in every state or province or country. If reporting is not mandatory, they won't report. That's the way it is. If reporting is mandatory, they still may not report. I don't believe they're reporting even when it's mandatory. I don't believe they are. Now, number 32, contact the LDC maintenance trainer when funds are needed. So these guys are supposed to have the funds, especially when Kingdom Hall is caused by natural disasters, fire or moisture, theft or vandalism. So you got to contact the branch risk management desk when funds are needed for any of these losses. Meeting times. Number 33, unless there are extreme extenuating circumstances, the life and ministry meeting is to be held during the week and should not be combined with the public talk and the Watchtower study, which are to be held on the weekend. Now, if the weekend meeting is overcrowded and there is room in the Kingdom Hall to accommodate another meeting time, consider having 2 weekend meetings, and the publishers can be assigned to attend these meetings by field service groups. And whenever practical, the same speaker can give both public talks and qualified elders can share in conducting the Watchtower studies. So I'm thinking if you had a small Kingdom Hall, 65-seater, and 100 people were showing up, you'd have to have 2 meetings to accommodate everyone. That's kind of what they're saying. What are they saying here? When only one congregation meets in the Kingdom, all the elders should consider what meeting times will be most convenient. And they can vote, I guess, baptized publishers. So the congregation can kind of vote. When more than one congregation meets in a hall, the combined body of elders should discuss the meeting time. Some congregations find that rotating the times or the days of the meeting each year is desirable. When a rotation is made, it should take place during the first week of January. The service department should be notified of changes to the meeting times using JW Hub. Okay, we're going to move forward. Information boards. There's always an information board at the Kingdom Hall. And you'll find that it's usually a pegboard at the back. Well, here's what they say. The coordinator of the body of elders is responsible for approving all items posted on the information board. So you can't put your business card there and advertise your services. You'd have to go through the coordinator of the body of elders. So the information board should be used exclusively to provide information about the congregation activities, and it should be kept neat. No wedding announcements or announcements about social gatherings should be placed on the information board. And when more than one congregation shares it, each congregation should have its own information board or portion thereof. So that's how they do it. The phone answering system. Number 35 is an answering machine or a voice messaging system, and it should be utilized if feasible. The recorded announcement approved by the Congregation Service Committee using the Kingdom Hall should provide the Kingdom Hall address, brief directions to the Kingdom Hall if necessary, and meeting times. And during the memorial season, the daytime and the location of the memorial observance should also be given. Internet service, see cybersecurity guidelines for Kingdom Hall's S287 form. I didn't look at that. I don't know. Do they provide internet in the Kingdom Halls? You guys let me know in the comments. Do they provide internet at the Kingdom Halls? I don't think they provide a hotspot for you guys, do they? To actually go in and update your emails? I don't think they do. Let me know. I know they have internet there, but I don't think they're providing internet for all the members, for all the people to use. Maybe they are. You guys let me know. Thrifty Treasures said they also have 2 meetings for bilingual congregations. And what else do we have saying? Talking about wedding rings. Okay, well, let's carry on here. We've got to get through this. Video equipment. If the bodies of elders of congregation used in the hall recommend an installation of video equipment, they should contact the LDC, Local Design Committee. They're out of the branch, I'm assuming. They'd run each country. You know, in each country you have a branch office, and in there you have your local design committee probably. They have their own guidelines. You know, they'll probably have guidelines from the Watchtower headquarters in New York. Well, here's the guidelines on the video system. It should be configured so that minimal time will be lost when starting a video. For example, it's preferred but not mandatory that the primary video display be positioned on one or both sides of the stage, not in the center, regardless of the configuration. Okay, so this is maybe video for your speakers. So you have a video camera pointing at your public speaker, and it comes up on big video screens. That's what this looks like. And number 2, the digital years text should be displayed before the opening song. So they're using the displays for that. After concluding prayer and during the meeting when nothing is being shown on the screens. So looks like that's all part of it. I've seen that in a lot of the pictures. When I was in the Kingdom Hall last in 2012, they were not doing any of these video displays. So this is all brand new for me. Not for you guys, perhaps, because that was a lot of years ago. But if the Kingdom Hall is internet service, it is preferred, but not mandatory, that a wired connection to the provider be used, and that the computer or media playback device in the Kingdom Hall be connected with a wired connection. So that they don't want wireless. They like hardwire if they pull internet in. And usually they have internet because they use internet to review. It's all internet driven to review cameras remotely. You can arm and disarm your security systems remotely as well. Now, video playback equipment should be installed near the sound equipment. The brother running the system should start the video when directed to do so. Okay, we're just about done here, folks, so hang in there with me for another minute or two. We're going to talk about the library. 39, each Kingdom Hall auditorium should have space for a library. The library should contain publications for each language group using the auditorium. And the body of elders should determine whether the library will provide publications in printed form, electronic form, or both. And when I was in it, they had a computer in the back, and you could access the bound volumes through the computer. But nowadays, it's even faster. You go onto JW.org and everything's there. So since some publishers and interested persons do not use computers, the elders should give careful consideration to the needs of such individuals in making decisions as to the Kingdom Hall Library, especially before deciding to eliminate printed publications. So it looks like they're probably getting rid of a lot of printed publications. The libraries are getting smaller in these new Kingdom Hall builds, and everything is becoming more electronic. People have tablets. It's almost like you're way out of date if you don't walk in with a tablet. Now, if the publication will be provided in electronic forms, such as on a computer or a printer, should be made available. At least one responsible brother should be assigned to keep the library up to date. Now, in the event that the bodies of elders decides to eliminate printed publications from the library, care should be taken not to discard items that have historical significance. And the branch office may wish to add such items to its library or to its archive of historical material. Some of this old Watchtower stuff, I guess, is worth money on eBay, someone was saying. So maybe don't throw it out. Now, I think we're just about done. What do we have here? JW Broadcasting, monthly programs. To assist publishers who do not have access to the internet, the bodies of elders may designate a time or times to view the monthly broadcast and other theocratic videos at the Kingdom Hall. How do they do that? Well, they should not interfere with the congregation meetings or association before and after meetings. Elders should not pressure publishers to attend the viewings. So it sounds like, let's say someone doesn't have internet at home. They can make it so they can view stuff at the Kingdom Hall Library. They can go on to JW Broadcasting and view things. So for people that don't have internet. So you take some third world countries, Africa, it looks very attractive. JW Org has these air conditioned Kingdom Halls. You can go in and get on the internet, and that's pretty fancy stuff. And that's why they have growth in those countries. Now, these viewings should not interfere with them. It just kind of gives rules as to the viewings of these if you went to the library. So it wouldn't interfere. Now, number 42, use of congregation property. In lands where it's permissible for congregation to own property, only property necessary for the congregation meeting should be purchased. Exceptions may be made for modest dwellings for circuit overseers, special pioneers, or others in the special full-time service at the discretion of the branch office. See the instructions for the circuit accounting, S331, for direction on circuit apartments. And if questions arise in connection with the congregation property, such as regarding housing, use of land by other parties, gifts of property, the elders should contact the LDC for direction. So it's all run by the branch now. Use of congregation property. So if you have people like circuit overseers, suites, they don't have district overseers anymore, but full-time special pioneer suites, it could be at some of these properties. They have these special forms for them. See, I thought they were getting rid of that. When I was in it, they had the coordinator, the congregation coordinator had a mobile home parked beside the Kingdom Hall, very nicely set up. Had an addition on it. He had, and he got free parking. He hooked into the electricity. He said he was paying his own electricity and utilities, but I think it was all combined. I think he was just estimating. Anyways, I think the congregation ended up paying a lot of it, but they still do it. Now, insurance including property insurance for the Kingdom Halls and other owned equipment, it should not be purchased by the congregation. It should not be purchased. You see, because Watchtower is self-insured. Watchtower, if they get sued, they'll take. That's why the sister that tripped in the concrete in New York, and that's why it hit the papers. They weren't paying her. She was hauled away in an ambulance, couldn't go to work because of this accident on this sidewalk going to an assembly. So they don't have insurance, but they'll fight you in court. And they'll fight you. And you don't have enough money to fight Watchtower. I'm sorry. It's a losing battle. They love going to court. Brumley is even appealing his appeal. I didn't know you could appeal your appeal. So they appealed Brumley's thing. He went to Alaska and they said, yeah, you have no appeal. Get the hell out. Pay it. And he's gone. Now he's appealing that. So we'll see what happens. Watchtower loves court. The branch risk management desk in the accountant department should be contacted if congregations have need to purchase insurance. So sometimes legally they might have to, and contractually, they might require insurance. Because if you're going through Watchtower and they're your insurance company, you're not going to get paid. So there may be situations where they have to get legitimate insurance. This is just talking about it. That's all. But they don't want anybody buying insurance because they're self-insured. Now, Kingdom Hall dedications, it says see the S78 form. Well, now all these Kingdom Halls that are dedicated are being turned into mosques. They're turned into thrift stores. They're turned into liquor stores. All these Kingdom Halls that are sold off, I don't know, what does the dedication really matter? These are just real estate buildings that that the Watchtower is building, and the rank and file has to do all the work. They have to maintain it all and look after it all. Okay, well, the next, I guess the next one we're going to talk about next week is meetings. Oh no, we talked about meetings. That's chapter 20. And we're going down to, where are we here? Meetings, chapter 21 we finished. Next week we'll be covering chapter 22, correspondence and records. This is what we'll be covering next week. Correspondence and records. Now, in case you're wondering how big of a file this is, or a book this Elders book is, it's quite a big book, actually. It's 300 and some pages. These are all the chapters. So we covered all of these chapters here. And now we're on this section. There's 30, looks like there's 30 chapters. We are on 22 next week, correspondence and records. So we're getting close. We're about, I would say we're about 2/3 of the way through it. Okay, well, that's all we have for you today, folks. For the Elders book, I hope I didn't put you to sleep. But if you're wondering what's in this Elders book, we're covering it section by section. I'm going to say goodnight. The good wife has supper on the go here, so I'm hungry. So until next time, keep living your life with love. See you on the next video. I'll give you an outro. What do we have here? Talk therapy. This is what we'll be doing Wednesday nights. Come on to Joe and Fran's show. Tonight's Monday. So I think Ruby's on tomorrow, maybe. And Wednesday, Joe and Fran's show. Ruby's on tomorrow, Wednesday, Joe and Fran's show. And it's all kind of talk therapy, getting involved. So I'll just give you this little outro, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.